Students, welcome to Earth Day. So I can guide you through the checklist, your schoolwork for Wednesday, April 22nd. Now, while we're doing this, today is actually a special holiday called Earth Day. April 22nd is a day for us to remember the earth and make sure we're taking good care of it. So on Earth Day, people often plant trees, they pick up garbage, they think about the things they're doing to the environment and try to do their part to keep the earth healthy. You know, a lot of places in the world, people cut down trees and never plant new ones, or people just use up all the available water and there's not enough water for everyone. And so it's smart for us to think about the things we're doing to the earth and just make sure we're taking good care of it. So um, I want to show you something that you might not know about. You might have seen this sign before, 3 arrows. Each of the arrows stand for an R word: reduce, reuse, recycle. There's 3 R's. Reduce means use less. That means don't leave the lights on all day if you're not home. Don't leave the TV on when you're not watching it. Don't leave the water running when you're not using it. Try to reduce the amount you use. The second R is reuse. Reuse means to use something again. So you might have noticed at my desk, I usually have a Powerade bottle. That's because I like Powerade, but after I drink it, I always keep the bottle and I use it for 2, 3, 4 weeks as my water bottle. And so I'm reusing. Instead of throwing it away every time, I'm using it again. That way it doesn't just go to waste and it helps the earth. The less we waste, the more it helps the earth too. Recycle. Recycle means to take something and make it new again. So a bunch of old paper can be taken to a special recycling facility and they'll crunch it up. They get it all wet and mash it up and rip it into little pieces. And then they put it in a machine to press it together and dry it. And it comes out as brand new paper. And so recycle means to make it new again. It can be done with a lot of plastics and a lot of paper and cardboard, things that are made out of paper. So when you see this sign, it means reduce, reuse, recycle. So it's an important thing to learn on Earth Day. Now, something that I think would be fun for you to do today is to look at the plastics around your home. Sometimes toys, sometimes plates, cups, bowls, Cool Whip containers, like mustard and mayonnaise containers, all kinds of plastic things around your home. You'll notice one of those Earth Day signs. You'll notice a sign on the bottom or top of a lot of plastic things, a sign that has 3 arrows, like this lid has. This lid that I'm holding has 3 arrows, and on the inside it has a 4. I know you can't see it that good on the video, but there's a 4 there. That means it's a number 4 plastic, which means it's bendy like this. So when they go to recycle it, they will recycle it with other number 4 plastics that melt at the same temperature. And so that's just a fun thing to know. So it's fun to go on a recycling hunt, just to go and find a bunch of plastics in your home and see what numbers they are. Which recycling number does it have? Like this lid has the 3 arrows with a 4 in the middle. It's a number 4 plastic. I bet if you hunt all around your home, you can find a variety of different numbers of recycling numbers on the plastics in your home. So look at cups and bowls and things like that and see if you can find the recycling symbol and see if you can find different numbers on them. It's kind of a very interesting thing to know about. So on Earth Day, reduce, reuse, recycle. Let me show you some examples of people reusing. This is a cool statue. That's a cool art formation. And it's made out of recycled or reused materials. A very famous one. This is a cool art project where they took a bunch of old metal and they reused it. It was going to be thrown away, but instead of throwing it away, they made it into a nice art project. You can see the top of a hammer right here, some horseshoes, a spring, and they um, reused it instead of throwing it in the garbage. They made it into a nice decoration. And this one, these are the bottom of water bottles. So they cut the top off the water bottle, and on the bottom they painted it like a flower. So kind of cool. They made a flower bouquet decoration from the bottoms of water bottles. Now, so it's fun to think about the ways that we can do these three things: reduce, reuse, recycle. Okay, so I just wanted to make sure. I always like to talk a little bit about Earth Day, make sure students at least are familiar with it. Now we can jump more into our checklist. The first thing, after giving me a big smile, of course, is math, page 479. Now, remember we were learning about data and ways to do charts and graphs? Well, one type of graph is called a pictograph. On a pictograph, you use a picture in the graph. Now, when you're doing pictographs, you have to look down here at the bottom. This is called a key. It tells you each circle stands for one flower. So Jessie has 3 tally marks next to her name. If we were going to rewrite that information in a pictograph, we would actually draw 3 circles or whatever we were choosing to be our picture for that graph. Down here on this graph, for this example problem, it has what's your favorite sandwich? Cheese, ham, tuna, or turkey? And it has tally marks next to it. Well, notice right here, it says each smiley face stands for one child. So when we look at cheese, this means 5, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 kids like cheese sandwiches the best. That means if each smiley face stands for one child, we need to put 5 of those smiley faces because 5 kids like cheese. There we go. Now we are starting to turn this tally chart into a pictograph. Same thing, ham, 2 kids like it. Tuna, 4 kids like it. And I could draw nicer smiley faces, but I'm trying to hurry so this video doesn't go on too long for you. Turkey, 3. My pen is drying out on me from turning it upside down too much. Okay, so you take the tally chart and turn it into a pictograph. Now, pictographs are just a way to see the information, another way to see the information. Sometimes you might use a tally chart because it might be the best way to show it. Sometimes a pictograph might be the best way to show it. Other times, a bar graph, which we haven't learned about yet, might be the best way to show it. Or a line graph, or when you get older, a scatter plot. There's all kinds of different graphs and charts that show data. It's just good to know how to use different ones so you can decide what one works best for maybe a science experiment you're doing or some kind of project you're working on. You have to think which chart is going to work the best. So it's good to know about the different kinds. So you would probably not have a tally chart and a pictograph both on the same project you were working on in real life. You would choose, do I want to use a tally chart or do I want to use a pictograph? You could do both, but usually you'll choose which one you think is the best. After you do after you do this on your assignment, you take the tally chart and turn it into a pictograph. Then you need to answer the questions about it. How many children chose tuna? So tuna, ding, 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 4. How many more children chose cheese than ham? When you have a question like this, we're going to go to cheese and go all the way to the end. We're going to go to ham and go all the way to the end. When we're talking about how many more, we want to see this space right here. Cheese has 5 people, ham has 2. How many more people like cheese? And what we're looking at is this space right here. How much more? So they both have 1, they both have 2. Ham doesn't have this one or this one or this one. It's 1, 2, 3. Cheese has 3 more. 3 more people like cheese than ham. So you write as 3. Another word you might come across is the word fewer. Excuse me. Fewer means less, okay? So if it said, how many fewer children chose ham than cheese, it will be the same thing. You mark this and mark this. You're just counting backwards. There's 1, 2, 3, 3 fewer. You're counting the same thing, the empty boxes. Fewer and more is just a way of comparing how much more someone has, or if you want to say the opposite, how much fewer that has. So I could say cheese has 3 more children like cheese than ham. Or I could say it in reverse. 3 fewer children like ham than cheese. So if you come across the word fewer, you're going to do the same exact thing. You're just comparing the smaller amount. That's all. It's just a difference of how the sentence is worded. But you're doing the same thing of counting the empty boxes. I'm just looking at your worksheet to see if there's anything else I need to tell you real quick. Now on the hot problem at the bottom, which 3 fruits were chosen by a total of 10 children? So you're going to have to look at these and see which ones add up to 10. Once you have your pictograph, it might be easier. Count up 3 of the rows and see which 3 rows add up to 10. And it'll be those 3 fruits that you need to write to answer the question. Maybe apples, plums, and bananas. Maybe apples, plums, and oranges. Oranges, bananas, and plums. Whatever the answer is, whatever adds up to 10, you're going to write those words on the line. Now, look at my cute little happy Earth Day sign in the corner. So remember, it's Earth Day today. And pause the video now to go complete this math page, page 479. You will take the tally chart and turn it into a pictograph. Pause the video and complete that math page. Okay, you should be back from doing your math page. The next thing on our spelling list is to trace the spelling words. Remember these prefixes. Let me write some down real quick. Each of these words starts with a prefix. You've got to spell the prefix and then the rest of the word. Uncover, retell, untangle, repaint. So usually means to do it again, means to not do it, and dis means you don't like that thing. You dislike. So dis means not. Sorry, my mind went blank for a second. Not. Dislike, you do not like. Distrust, you do not trust. So these prefixes, put those on and then spell the rest of the word. It's to help you understand how to read those kind of words as well as spell them. So pause the video now and trace those spelling words. You should already know about it from Monday and Tuesday, but work on it some more today. Trace those spelling words now. Okay. Now you should be back from tracing your spelling words. The next thing on our list is writing. Now, for writing on Wednesdays, I usually have you go back and look at something you've already read. you've already written. So look at the story that you wrote yesterday, see what you can do to make it better. Um, Look for capitals at the beginning of sentences, periods at the end. Is there any way you can use some more interesting words like slimy or gooey or just to really make the story come alive with those interesting words? Use interesting action words or interesting describing words. So go back to your story and see if there's any interesting things you want to add to make it better, or fixes where you didn't spell very well or didn't use nice handwriting or didn't put capitals and periods. Go back and look and see if there's any fixes you need to make. Um, okay, pause the video now and go do your writing. After you're done with writing, it's recess time. So give yourself a recess break. Pause the video, go do writing and recess break, and then come back. I'll tell you what's next. Okay, you should be done now with math, spelling, writing, and recess. The next thing on our list is to practice reading. Now, there's 3 reading things, like always. The first one is read sea turtles. When you're reading sea turtles, notice I put a little note up here in the corner to go along with Earth Day. It says, since it's Earth Day, notice how they help out the Earth in this story. In other words, how do they help out sea turtles? So since it's Earth Day, be thinking about that. What do they do to help out the sea turtles? What do they do to help out the Earth in this story? The first thing you're going to do is time yourself for 1 minute and see how far you can get. You guys are all reading so fast when we had to start doing school at home. You were all getting better and better and better. So don't quit now. Keep on moving forward with your speedy reading and, most importantly, your smooth reading. And so see how far you can get in 1 minute. Then time yourselves and see if you can beat your score. Time yourself again for a minute and try to beat your high score. After you do that, finish reading the entire story and answer the questions on the back. Now, the questions on the back are to help see if you are understanding what you're reading. Again, you are allowed, if you read the question and you're not sure of the answer, go back in the story and look for the answer. You're allowed to go back and look. In fact, great readers sometimes have to read things 4 or 5 times to go back and because they missed something that they needed to know. So it's fine to, you want to try to understand the best you can the first time, but it's fine to go back and look for the answers and read again. Totally fine. So time yourself again, answer the questions. Those are your 2 reading things. Time yourself, answer the questions, and then just make sure you've read for 30 minutes. If it took you less than 30 minutes to do this, you'll need to find some books or a reading app to work on to make up the rest of that time. Make sure you're reading for at least 30 minutes, okay? Pause the video and go get your reading done. Okay, the next thing on our list, you should be done with reading now. The next thing on our list is PE. So pause the video and get some exercise. It's so important to keep our hearts and our muscles and our bodies healthy. And when we have healthy bodies, it helps keep our brains healthy too. So pause the video and go get some exercise, whatever your parents will allow you to do. You could hop on to Go Noodle, you could run up and down the stairs, go for a walk, go for a bike ride, whatever your parents want you to be able to do. Go get some exercise for at least 10 minutes. Pause the video and go get some PE or some exercise. Okay. Now, if you're able to, go on to the next thing on our list is to go to Padlet, and on Padlet, write something nice to a classmate. Okay? Go on Padlet and write something nice to a classmate. Lift time today is, remember, we try to have some fun learning, but today's Earth Day. I want you to think about something special you could do for the Earth today, for Earth Day. You could go out for a walk and pick up garbage if it's warm enough. You could try to make a special project that reuses materials that would otherwise be trash. If you look on the internet or you use your brain, you can find projects to turn trash into toys or art. you can take some scratch paper and reuse it instead of just throwing it away. So try to think of something special you can do to help out the earth since today is the national holiday of Earth Day. If you have like a tree or something, you could plant a tree. You could go out and, excuse me, you could go outside and pick up trash. I think I already said that. But just try to think of something special that you could do to keep the earth clean here on Earth Day. You could even just take out the trash for your parents. That would be a nice thing that I'm sure your parents would appreciate. But remember, Earth Day is reduce, reuse, and recycle. Try to think of a way you can do one of those things. And maybe do make a special effort to turn the lights off or the TVs off in your house when you're not using them. That is reducing electricity. So reduce, reuse, and recycle. Find a way to work on one of those things today, and just find a way to do something to help make the earth a better place. Um, all right, pause the video, and that's all for today. Make sure you're having a fun day, being kind. I miss you guys. I wish we could be here at school together, but keep making the most of school at home. Keep reading every single day, and have a great Earth Day. Do something kind for the earth today, and be kind to your family today, okay? Thanks.